Hello everyone for Hive Magazine. My name is Alfie Clark, and today I am joined by the frontman from Hard Life, Murray. How are you doing there, mate?
Hey man, thanks for having me, bro. Of
No, very welcome, mate. Thank you for having us as well, taking your time.
course.
So you've got your comeback album, so to say, coming out on the 18th of July, titled Onion. How are you feeling about this finally coming out?
I'm so excited, man. Yeah, so excited. I want it to be out and yeah, we spent so much time umming and ahhing about whether or not we'd even come back at all. So the fact that we're here doing it, it's just very exciting for all of us. Yeah, we're stoked.
It feels quite fitting in like two ways because I mean we've seen a lot of bands come back recently, Rizzle Kicks, Oasis, Linkin Park, and now yous as well. But there's a comeback in the summer, and I think for me personally, I associate a lot of your music with, no clouds in the sky, scorching hot weather. Would you say that's like quite fitting as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's perfect. We didn't actually time it like that intentionally, but I feel like in general, our sound is quite yeah, it's good for like a nice summer's day, nice and breezy.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's fitting. Hopefully it's the sound of the sound of the summer, man.
Hell yeah, man! Like when it comes to this record, then like how does this one differentiate itself from the previous two albums? How is this, standing on its own as its own unique project?
Hmm. I suppose for me it was that the other all my previous work, including like the mixtapes even before the albums, they're all fairly labored. They were all very raw, don't get me wrong. I don't want to discredit them, and I'm really proud of all of them, but they took a long time. And I think the strange and wonderful thing about Onion is that I recorded the whole thing in the space of a month. And because of that, I didn't edit myself. It's just very raw. It's very, yeah, unedited. It's just lots of it's just how do you say, God, my brain isn't working, but it's very, it's just very honest. And I suppose we never re-recorded anything. If like something was a bit scratchy or a bit shit, like we just kept it in because that's how it is, and we are like, that's perfect. So yeah, it was a really interesting process, and I think through all of that like haste and speed in which it was made, it's like I think it's something really, really vulnerable and really, really beautiful about that. So yeah, it's fairly mellow because of that too, but I love it.
Yeah. So would you say like the creative process in that sense was very different compared to the other ones? Like, was the band in a very different headspace compared to those last couple of albums, or was it more just a case of sticking to your guns and sticking with what works?
No, it's very different. Like every album has been, I've always made the music by myself. And that's never changed, I suppose. With this one, it was like I was in Tokyo, uh, been through so much as a band. I've been through so much in my personal life. And that's not to say that I hadn't on the other two records either, but with this one I just had so much to say that it was ironically like incredibly easy to make this album. I suppose some of the other times like I've been in a headspace where I'm not really sure what to write about, whereas I never had that with Onion. I knew from the very moment I started exactly what to write about, and I didn't have to ever worry about making songs. They just came, and even like after I handed the record in, like I just kept writing, and I've been writing ever since. And I can't stop. And that's a nice place to be in as a writer. That's not where I'm always at. Spent lots of my career in like the drought and writer's block and all of that shit. But right now I'm in a really creative space, so I'm very grateful for that.
That's fantastic to hear, mate. I mean, like, upon listening to the album, a couple of listens that I have given it, it's quite deep and personal across like a lot of the elements, despite keeping a lot of the similar sounds that I'm used to hearing from yous. So, like, was there any like sort of songs that were, you were very happy to get out and sort of like, or more so stories, I should say, any like stories you were like very happy to sort of put on a page and finally express?
I suppose like I was going through a lot. I was going through like a romantic breakup, which I had not really been through before. Certainly not of this magnitude. So the songs really helped me deal with that and my relationship towards that and how I felt about that. And then everything that was going on with the band, like each time that I wrote about it, just helped me understand my own feelings. It was a very cathartic process. I suppose like some of the album is like tracks, and then other moments are like very obviously based on, you know, hyper specific moments in my life. Um, and I think there's a nice for me, like I only write things because I have to or I want to, you know, and none of it's made up, none of it's manufactured or imagined. It's all real. So I think all of the songs in a way they help me through something for sure.
Was there any like difficulties in sort of getting some of those stories out, like, on the opposite end of the spectrum? Were there any ones that you sort of really wanted to get out there and express, but for one reason or that were quite challenging to put out there?
Whole lot of stories I'm not allowed to tell for legal reasons, you know. I wasn't allowed to
Yeah,
speak about a lot of stuff that's happened in my life. I still can't in the press. And they're stories that I can tell to friends in confidence, but I'm not able to write songs about. But I tried my best on a song like Tears, but I got sued for that too. So after that happened, I stopped writing songs about that because I realized that it's not worth it, and I'm not trying to get sued too many more times. It's getting a bit it's
it's a
getting
bit long,
expensive.
that, yeah. Yeah, because I mean, like, you've been putting out the detailed like bios on Instagram as well, like detailing the whole stories of the songs. Like, is that sort of a way to try and get the fans like excited, or just to try and get them like on the same page to when they actually hear the songs, they're like, oh yeah, that's what he's on about. Like, I get this now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the fans have been through this situation with us, you know. They're not like strangers to what's been going on. So I think I just want to bring them closer to the process and be like, this song is about this moment. And like, do you guys remember this moment? I'm sure you do because it affected me, but I know that it might have affected you too. So like, yeah, it's nice, man. I feel like it's even though like what I've been through in my lifetime is not that relatable, you know, there's not many people that are singers in bands and do the shit that I get up to and then also go through what I've done in like I suppose with like the run-ins I've had with with the law, you know, that's not it's not that relatable, but the thing is that I know that the fans have been there every step of the way, so it's so nice to have them like to share these stories with them because I know they get it. I know that I don't have to say that much and they know exactly what I'm talking about. And I think that's a really beautiful thing that I have with our audience is that a lot of them have been listening to me for so long and they know how I speak and they understand like the phrases that I use and I don't actually have to say like exactly what I mean. Like they're very good at reading between the lines and I think that's a really special thing that I have with with our fan base and I'm really grateful for that, you know.
Yeah. So would you say the whole album like signifies a new era for the band, and even just despite the identity change, would you say that this is you coming into a new step of your careers, even with that sort of change in identity?
I don't really know, to be honest. I mean, we're just glad to be doing it. Like, I
Mm,
don't know if it's like a new era. I mean, I suppose inherently it is because it's a different, like, it's 3 years after our last project. A lot has changed. We've got a different name. So, in many ways, like, I suppose it is a new era. The sound is quite different. And none of this was intentional, you know. I didn't want to change the name. I didn't want to change the sound. I didn't want to do any of that shit. But I suppose that's just what happens naturally. And yeah, I'm down to just follow my instinct and see where I end up in all aspects of my life. So the same with the music. I don't know if it's a new era though. Fuck knows. I
mm-hmm.
suppose like we'll only know that like retrospectively.
Mm-hmm. And like obviously you've been through like it's been a very stressful time for you. Like it seems like it's been such a tricky time for you just as a collective to get through this. But like with that, it also brings new opportunity and new excitement. And with this new album, you get the chance now to play all this to fans at festivals and at gigs and stuff. So like, I can only imagine you are just dead excited for the summer coming up and all the festivals you're doing and the upcoming tour as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I think for a long time, like we were on tour for so long and so relentlessly that the idea of playing shows was it was no longer exciting. Um, we still loved the shows as individual performances, don't get me wrong, but like just the idea that they were in the diary was not exciting. Whereas now, like we got all these festivals and this headline tour, and like we're just so gassed, man. The band are just so pumped. We're so ready to like finally get to do this again. We haven't done our own headline tour for like by the time we go on that tour, it'll be more than 2 years, you know? And like for us, that's crazy because we used to tour like every other month, you know. So it's been a long time, and like yeah, the best thing about the whole thing is it changed our attitude, man. We realized that what we do is we're very lucky to do what we do, and it could be stopped at any moment. So like every show matters now, and I think that's a really nice mindset to be going walking out on stage, being like, let's make this the best show we possibly can, and yeah, the tour's gonna be wild, man.
Yeah, because I mean, like, you had your first show back at live at Leeds the other month, which I sadly couldn't catch that set. I was there, but I think at the time I was interviewing your mate from sports team, actually.
Ah,
But
yeah.
I saw you kicking about, and like you just like the stuff that I've seen that you were doing around the festival, like you were smiling constantly. You looked like you were in a really good headspace, and like just what was the overall feeling like getting back out there, and how was like the Leeds crowd for you on that first show back?
Yeah, I love Leeds so much. I mean, Leeds is like a my brother lives in Leeds and has done 15 years, so it's a bit of a second home for me. So I love the fact that that first show was there. Um, yeah, I was sick, man. Like another thing that I suppose I don't talk about it enough, but like not only when I say we weren't touring, that also meant I didn't see my front of house engineer, my lighting designer, my tour manager, like all of those people, like our guitar tech, etc., etc., etc. All the crew that are essential for the show, and my best friends and people that I've traveled the world with, and like we've shared a lot of very very precious moments together. I didn't get to see them. They were busy working on other stuff. So like what's amazing about going to live at Leeds was that it was like the first time I'd seen like we'd all been together for ages. So like we were gassed, like yeah, drinking, partying, playing the show. It was amazing, man. It was a very good feeling. I treasure that day for sure.
Yeah, what was it like catching up with some of the other like bands and stuff like that you hadn't seen in ages as well? Because with that, you're not getting out there playing festivals and linking up with, you know, other people in your space. Like, was it nice catching up with some people that you hadn't seen recently in
Yeah,
the music
exactly.
space as well?
Yeah, man. Like it was difficult, like not being involved in the community for such a long time because that's something we really value. And like I said, there's not that many people that can relate to what it is that I do for a living. So I always really appreciate it when I do meet other artists and we can talk about it like very, very on a level, you know. So yeah, man, it was sick seeing everyone and yeah, being backstage again and like just getting nervous again and all that shit, man. It was I've missed it all. It was fun.
And like obviously with these festivals, like you're playing to crowds of people that might have never even heard a Hard Life song before. Like, would you say this is now the perfect time to get into your music and become a new fan of Hard Life with this new sort of chapter?
Wow. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's always been a good idea to be a fan of our band, I'd say. But like, I think what is fun is like if you did find our project now and you just didn't have a clue about everything that's gone down, like there's so much like juicy gossip to get your teeth stuck into. Like there's so much lore around how we've ended up where we are, and like I think that's fucking loads of fun, you know. And like, yeah, if whenever I discover a new artist, like I always just if I like it, then I get in I'm like a nerd like that. I get into that shit. So if I just like the idea that if someone did that for us, it would just be like a never ending narrative of twists and turns and just so much bullshit along the way. And I think that's really interesting for fans.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like you mentioned the headline tour as well. Like, are there any certain places or like places that you've never been before, or places that you haven't been to in a while? Are there any places that you're excited to get back to, or any certain venues?
I mean, yeah, not to be really diplomatic, but I'm just excited to do them all. But I suppose like we're playing Brixton again. We played Brixton on our first album. Um, that was a really special moment for us because we couldn't believe that we were like a band that could play that venue. So I think playing there again is going to be like quite full circle for us and quite a nice thing for the crew as well. I've got lots of really good memories of that venue, so that'd be good. But then just hitting the cities, and like going back to Manchester, like Newcastle, fucking Leeds, like we're doing all of the ones, man. And like I suppose, yeah, we have our connection to all those cities because we've toured so many times, and we've got lots of family around those northern cities too. But it's like, yeah, we've I miss visiting them, like
Hmm.
touring's great because sure you get to play the show and that's really exciting and the venues are great and the crowd's great and blah blah blah. But like you're also just like hanging out in a new city and like we've done it so many times that we know these cities really well and I miss them all. They've all got a very unique flavor and like I'm excited to just like travel around England again. You take that shit for granted. There's people all over the world that would just love to even visit one of these cities for one day and like we just get to like travel around the country and it's a beautiful country. It really is. So
Hmm.
like to just yeah go and find the best English breakfast in all of the cities.
Yeah, it's probably like very full circle for like a lot of your older fans as well that have like been following you from day one. Because like me personally, and I've been aware of your music for quite some time, and like the first like real introduction that I got from you was from your inclusions on like the FIFA soundtracks, like
Sure.
a couple of years ago. Like, do you think like pockets and skeletons like being on those games, like do you think that was like really crucial in terms of like building an early fan base?
Sure, man. I suppose like Skeletons less though because we'd already like no, no, I don't want to say less so, but Pockets was the first song we ever released, and the fact that it was on FIFA was like fucking insane. Like, and that was huge for us at the time. We might actually have another song on FIFA very soon. It's not called FIFA, is it? It's changed now.
AFC it's called now, yeah. So might get
I
sued
think,
for that
like,
as well. Called it
yeah,
wrong
so
name.
don't mention that. But yeah, like we're hoping to. Yeah, we have a good relationship with those guys.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it's always been great, and then, like also reaches a new fan base because like yeah, people that play games and play football like. I know. I don't play games and I don't play football, so I don't think inherently there's lots of like uh crossover there, but I was proved wrong and like FIFA was such an important part of like pockets for sure. So
Hmm.
yeah, man. Like
Yeah.
you are testimony to the fact that it was a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even though you just said that you might have a song coming up on a new edition of the game somewhere down the line, I was literally going to ask as well, like, which one do you think personally would fit the best on like an upcoming version of the game, just like in terms of the indie style that FIFA tries to go for these days? Like, is there any one that if you had to hand pick one, like, what would
I
you
think that
slap
would
on a game?
probably be Yellow Bike,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know, and you didn't hear it from me, and this is all just complete speculation.
Okay, well we'll leave it at that then, mate. I like, but finally, like so obviously you mentioned this is a good time for anyone to be a hard life fan. Any time is, but say for someone this is their first experience with you as a band, they're turning on Onion for the first time when it comes out on the 18th. What should they be expecting going into it?
It's a good question, man. I suppose like I always find it hard to put expectation on the listener because oftentimes, more often than not, like I meet fans and they tell me what the music meant to them, and it's like drastically different from the message I intended. And like that's a beautiful thing. Like as a listener, you make your own assumption of what you think that art is about, and it means something to you based on who you were when you listened to it, where you were, what you were going through, and everything is informed like entirely uniquely for everyone's individual experience. And that's why I love music. Like the power of music is such that you have no idea what a song is gonna or how it's gonna affect someone. For me, Onion, like it's a story of like resilience and the ability to put one foot in front of the other, and that's what it means for me. That's how I remember it. But like, that's not going to be the story for the next person who listens to it, who's going through something completely different. So I'm really excited. That's actually the most, the privilege of doing what I do for a living is hearing how other people interpret it and what it means to them. And, sometimes it really helps them get through some shit. And like, that's a real blessing for me.
Amazing, man. Well, I mean, that's all the questions I've got for you, mate. This has been a Hive magazine interview with me, Alfie Clark, and Murray from Hardlife.
Thanks so much, bro. Appreciate
Very
it.
welcome, mate. Very welcome.